Hi guys, how are you? We are live. Today is the 28th community call. Thank you very much for joining our party today. So as usual, on the monthly basis, we are presenting our latest achievements in terms of our roadmap of Equilibrium and telling you the most recent news on what we have done so far and share some exciting updates and plans for the future. My name is Alex. I'm the CEO and the founder with Equilibrium. Today I will be alone because my colleagues are extensively traveling these days. However, I'm sure I will have the capacity to cover all the most interesting what we have done so far. As usual, we have prepared some slides. Let me walk you through today's agenda. Just hold on a sec. I think it's here. Okay, so today we have, as you see, a pretty packed agenda, a lot of topics. Also, we'll have quite a few guests joining us. So it will be our friends from the Parachain teams, respectively Litentry and Bifrost. We managed to get a rock star of the MEXC exchange, the VP of MEXC. He will be sharing his perspective on the current market, hopefully, and I don't know, maybe give you some interesting insights. We also share some news. First of all, regarding our EQ Blast, which is currently in the full swing, and we actually continue. We continuously growing in terms of TVL. So right now we have almost 2 million. Like more than $2 million locked in our protocol on Polkadot. It's steady growth, almost doubled since the beginning of the month. EQD stablecoin is continuously getting traction. We'll give you some perspective on that as well. So we are organizing and hosting the annual Polka DeFiance event. It's the third one. The first actually took part in 2021 was really long journey, and the next one is scheduled for April 27th. I will touch on that as well. I will give you perspective on our recent integrations and what exactly you can do with all this stuff. I'm sure you will be interested as our community members and users and supporters will be interested what exactly you can do with Equilibrium at this point. Yeah, so we'll have a few guests, as I said. We have teamed up with GSR. We'll be also touching on the concepts of the common app for Ledger. It's our recent development that will hopefully solve this kind of problem of the Ledger integration and actually advance for everyone, for all the Parachain projects. So we have launched the Crew3 questboard. Our head of community, Mary, will tell you more about that. We'll give you updates on our current bridge situation in Equilibrium and some idea of what's going on the development side. So without further ado, let me continue with our TVL and EQ Blast things. First of all, as I said, the current TVL in Equilibrium has capped $2 million, which is really steady growth starting the launch of the campaign. So just to remind you, like initially we had $50,000 locked in our protocol, and right now we have 2 million. So which is really exciting. It's almost 40-fold growth, and we have seen more than 300 active participants during the campaign. So like Blast users who actually contributed EQ tokens to the protocol. So as you know, we have blast rewards for those who are locking EQ tokens on top of regular rewards that you can get through the blast campaign. So out of this, like more than 300 users, actually three-fourth, I guess, like or two of these users were participating as a blast user. And the EQ rewards that we have sent so far are over 1.5 mils. So just to remind you how exactly this blast campaign works. So if you are contributing to our existing liquidity pools, you can expect extended rewards paid in EQ tokens. And there are a few options for you. So you can contribute to the pools with like lending liquidity, where you can just lock your funds and lend them out to the borrowers in the system. Another option for you is to provide liquidity to the insurance fund, to the insurance pool, which is used for securing loans in our system. And this strategy is a little bit more risky, but you get paid for that like with a higher APR. And the third option, you can basically get your stablecoin work harder in our stable swap pools. So you can, let's say, generate AQD stablecoins and log them in the stable swap pool. And maybe the last but not least is our dot staking pools that are currently active on the platform. So it's like literally decentralized and like almost risk-free way of staking your dots and keeping these dots locked in staking liquids. So meaning that if you're locking dots within equilibrium, you get in return the EQ dot wrapper that you can reuse in the protocol. So let's say you can lock it as collateral and raise your liquidity, like get stable coins from the money markets and gets more working capital if you desire to do so. For like using the stable coins, you obviously can get more dots or do more trades, whatever you want. And what's maybe the most important and remarkable regarding our EQ Blast campaign, that all these staking rewards are actually stacking one with each other. So let's say if you are locking dots within our liquid staking, you get like regular APR, like almost 14% that Polkadot offers on staking, and on top of that you get like more, like roughly speaking 12% APR in EQ tokens. In terms of our EQ Blast campaign, then you are you're able to get this EQ dots wrappers that you get through liquid staking locked for EQD stablecoins, and then provide this EQD liquidity into the stable pool. So all the APRs that you get on the way, you will be staking, and the maximum APR that you can get can be over 90%, which is really impressive. So probably it's one of the most attractive liquidity mining campaigns in the Dotsama ecosystem these days. So feel free to take a look. Here on the slide, you can see the QR codes. If you scan it, you can actually follow to our application and then there find out what we have on offer. So as I said, I'm also covering the EQD stablecoin. So right now we have over actually $400,000 worth EQD stablecoins minted. So just to remind you, the EQD stablecoin is a decentralized stablecoin of the Dotsama ecosystem. So it's initially designed to be widely used within our platform, respectively for quotations on the DEX and also as lending instruments to raise dollar liquidity just at a click. However, we see that EQD can also bring certain value to the Dotsama ecosystem just outside the boundaries of our platform. So given that we are planning for more campaigns with various partners within the Dotsama ecosystem, so respectively, like with different AMMs and lending protocols. So we will announce that additionally. So keep up with our social media announcements to be the first to know. So right now, the stable swap pool that is currently already live is AQD to USDC pool on our platform. So you can fairly easy swap your AQD for USDC back and forth. So right now, so the number here on the slide is a bit outdated. So right now it's over $600,000 worth liquidity over there. And you can see here in the bottom of the slides here's the breakdown of collateral types used to mint EQD so far. And as you can see here, the most popular collateral types are actually liquid dot wrappers of the Dotsama ecosystem, respectively C dot. By parallel, we have over $400,000 worth T dot locked for EQD stablecoins. And the second line here is for EQ dot, which is our liquid dot wrapper I was telling you about just recently. So obviously, another option for you, if you consider our Blast campaign specifically, and you want to maximize your APR, your profits that you get from participation, is the option to lock your liquidity provision, like LP token, from the stable swap pool for leverage that within our money market. So if you can see here, the third line, the third most popular asset for minting stablecoin was our LP token from the stable swap pool. So you definitely can do multiple iterations. Like, you have a lot of options in the platform. Again, as you know, we are building one of the most comprehensive platforms in probably the overall DeFi space, not just in the Dotsama ecosystem. So we have a lot of different instruments just in one interface. So if you're considering like participating in staking or liquidity mining in Equilibrium, you can definitely consider an option to do multiple iterations, means your liquid dots, get your liquid dots, lock for EQD, log this in stable swap pool, get your LP tokens, and then collateralize that within the money market. We actually are super excited to see how EQD is getting more and more traction, and there will be more news to come, respectively, with regards to our external integrations with external products and external partners within Dotsama ecosystem. Stay tuned. So recently, as we have seen in the Polka Insider Twitter, Equilibrium was recognized as one of the most influential Polkadot projects, which is proving that the impact that we are bringing onto the ecosystem is really important, is really significant, and we are expecting that our recent developments will also kick off pretty well, respectively, our EQD stablecoin. We are very much focused on actually establishing it as one of the major ecosystem assets, and I would say like Dotsama native stablecoin for everyone, for all the projects. And so we were recognized as one of the most influential Polka ecosystem. Thanks very much for our colleagues, to our colleagues from Polkadot Insider for this kind of research. Another exciting news that we have for you guys is our Polka DeFiance event, which is scheduled for April the 27th. It's actually very, very, very much anticipated event, and again, it's the third time when we are doing that. The previous two events have seen quite significant participation from the side of the Dotsama community. Last year we had over 1,000 participants online, and in the the year before we had almost like 3,000, I guess. And yeah, so this time Polka DeFiance will be also purely online in our crowdcast channel. We have already confirmed participation of 21 Dotsama projects and Dotsama kind of actors, like respectively Polkadot, like parachain projects, then projects from the EVM compatible chains like Moonbeam and Astar, yeah. So we are looking forward to this event, and the details of that will be published on the polkadefiance.com website really soon. So stay tuned as well. We are very much excited about integrations with all the partners within the Dotsama ecosystem, because again, for us, it's an opportunity to bring value to the token holders of the parachain projects. So, like as you can imagine, we have a lot of things on the offer. So if let's say you hold the tokens of specific parachain projects, which is added to our money markets, you can leverage your holdings for, I don't know, stable coins, or use it in some different way. Let's say like I don't know, like borrow dots or swap these tokens at some point when the exchange will be live. And yeah, definitely integration with Interlay was one of the most important milestones for us, because we consider Interlay as one of the major players in the Dotsama ecosystem, because what they do is really valuable. So they are building the whole DeFi conglomerate on top of Bitcoin, and it's really decentralized in the approach that they are taking to bring Bitcoin on chains where on-chain logics is supported. Is like really innovative and really interesting. And actually, again, it's like completely decentralized setup, very much innovative, and it's actually super safe for liquidity providers and for those who consider bridging Bitcoins from the Bitcoin network to Dotsama, and I'm sure that in the future we will see more networks integrated. So definitely having them integrated with Equilibrium is good news, because it's actually bring the natural use case for their Bitcoin implementation on one hand. So on the other hand, it gives the opportunity of our community and our users to leverage like real Bitcoins within Equilibrium. So you can actually enjoy a few interesting use cases. So like all of them are available on our money markets. You can deposit like Interlay's BTC into lending and insurance pools to earn over 90% APR if you like iterate, like do certain iterations to get your maximum APR. You can use InterBTC as collateral for EQD minting, and it also can be used as collateral for borrowing other assets as well. So you can leverage your InterBTC, let's say for DOT tokens or for DOT wrappers if you need them, or some other, let's say, stable coins. We have currently available USDT and USDC bridged through Multichain on our platform. Yeah, hopefully this will be like really interesting to the Interlace community as well, because like we also, like, besides just the InterBTC token, we also added the support for Interlace native token. So probably those who are holding Interlace tokens in their wallets, they will be interested in leveraging them in our money markets as well. So now I actually want to talk a little bit more about our ongoing integrations. And here we have our first guest. It's growth manager at Litentry, Teun Habraken, and the growth manager at Bifrost, Christian. Just a sec, let me invite them to the screen. Oh, nice. Okay. Hello, hello.
You guys hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Perfect.
Can you hear me as well?
Yes. Hi, Christian. How are you?
Hi. Good. Thank you.
Hi, guys. Thank you very much for joining our today's call. It's a pleasure to host you here. And actually, we are super excited about our integrations. We eventually will hopefully bring the assets from your parachains to the Equilibrium's product line, and hopefully give them like really decent and interesting use cases. And also, like, we are expecting to have some of our developments serve for the needs of your community as well. Like, let's say if we manage to bridge stablecoins to both of your parachain projects, it definitely would be really interesting, and hopefully bring certain interesting use cases for that. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. So probably I'll let you introduce yourself first. Who wants to start?
You can go first. Yeah, you can go first.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks everybody to invite us to have a little confirmation of the partnership that has started with the opening of the XCM channels. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes, as it often is. It takes a while before it reaches the public. But it's interesting to see what type of conversations are being had between Litentry and Equilibrium. Actually, also between Bifrost and Litentry. It's all one big family. But yeah, we are interested in seeing how Equilibrium expands its DeFi capabilities, its stablecoin plans in the future, and also how we as an identity provider, because that's essentially what Litentry is, we provide decentralized identity tools or identity management tools for Web3 users. And that's also one of the tracks that we are on with Equilibrium. I don't know if you want to have some additional questions later, because I'm already diving into where we're going. But
yeah, definitely. I will ask you. So yeah, let probably Christian introduce himself as well, and then we'll dive into all this stuff.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thanks for this invitation. I really appreciated having the chance to discuss about Bifrost and to get in touch with, as Teun mentioned, like a big family with Equilibrium Litentry is always a pleasure for me. I'm Christian, I'm growth manager at Bifrost. For those who are not aware of it, Bifrost is a liquid staking protocol who basically provide liquid staking tokens for those assets who are staked into Polkadot and Kusama parachain. And in particular, we launched last month, I guess, or beginning of this month, actually. We opened the HRMP channel with Equilibrium to provide our B token, which are like our liquid staking token, as a collateral for the EQ stablecoin in the near future. So that's why I'm basically here today.
Right. Cool, amazing. Thanks very much for these intros. I think it was really interesting for our community to learn more about you guys. And I'm sure that they will be also interested to hear more about like practical use cases of our integration. So let's probably dive into that as well, because like I guess every integration with Dotsama opens certain opportunities. And yeah, let's talk about opportunities that's been opened by integration between Equilibrium and Litentry first. Teun, what do you think? Like, what would be the most valuable thing that we can do together?
Yeah, that's a good question. There's some things in the making right now, and we're exploring them, as I mentioned earlier. But essentially, Litentry is launching the Identity Hub. The Identity Hub will be that identity management tool that I spoke about earlier as well. And it's there where not only Equilibrium, but any type of Web3 user or Dotsama user can figure out what they are about, show their identity, show their expertise, show all the transactions and history that they have in DeFi, not only on Polkadot, but also on other networks. But then this time without revealing any of your original accounts. So currently we all have this experience where we log in with one particular wallet address, but that only reveals a certain amount of your information and sometimes too much. What Identity Hub helps you to do is to bring all these fragmented addresses and scattered addresses together, and then prove your DeFi reputation, your DeFi transactions, your DeFi knowledge to different players. So we are interested in exploring how, for example, communities like yours could prove their knowledge, their expertise on our platform, and then take a truth statement about that expertise back to Equilibrium, and where Equilibrium would be able to offer the communities a personalized deal, a customized product, a tailored service based on those identity details that they can now manage. And that's just the bare framework of what is possible. The actual applications that we can build on those opportunities is what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I think it actually brings very interesting use cases to Equilibrium, right? Because it's potentially sort of, you can think of that as a score for DeFi users, right? So you can figure out like how these users performed in the past, what was the traction across different lending protocols, let's say, whether they're credible or eligible to get like some, let's say, anti-collateralized even loans or something like that. So definitely it will be like really interesting thing. I'm curious, like whether you guys, on top of that, will be providing any kind of KYC services for the user. So let's say if somebody wants to get identified and get compliance according to some regulatory framework, is it something that you guys will be also working on?
Yeah, that's a question we often get. Actually, Litentry is taking more of a road towards trust your customer instead of know your customer. We want to unlock these pseudonymous identities, these pseudonymous economies, where you come with your anonymous name, your nickname, the name that you operate under on Web3. Both of us clearly don't. Like we use our own names, but there's so many others who just hide themselves behind a profile picture, and we don't think that's bad. We think an economy where everybody has equal opportunity and can operate or transact and unlock opportunities based on their credentials and their pseudonymous reputation, since that's all provable on chain. We think that is an interesting type of economy. So for now, we personally are not exploring or going towards KYC as in terms of managing your sovereign identity or managing your state name. But we are heavily investing on the pseudonymous economies that are very crypto native.
Yeah, makes sense. This is like really interesting perspective on how we deal with identity, right? So it looks like really crypto native thing, which presumes that you're not kind of revealing your real world data, right? But you kind of more analyze from the perspective of your on-chain activity. So probably like the last question with this regards to you, Teun, I'm curious. So this core system, I guess, requires quite a big amount of data to be analyzed, and you basically need to analyze, like I would say, like as big data as possible to get more kind of clear picture on every counterparty that you're bringing in. So I'm curious. Are you getting this data solely from the Polkadot or Dotsama ecosystem, or you can also, or planning to collect data from other blockchain networks as well? And how you tie together all the blockchain accounts of the user, making sure that this user is the actual user behind these accounts and behind like the personality to whom these accounts actually belong?
Yeah. So a user will enter our application called the Identity Hub. You can sign up for early access. It's launching next month. And there the user can like collect or create an identity graph, as we call it, from their GitHub address, their Twitter address, their Reddit, their Polkadot addresses or Substrate addresses, any type of Ethereum virtual machine-based network, so Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Ethereum, all of these addresses can be, that you can prove ownership over those addresses. And then we have, we allow you to bring that fragmented identity together. We call that the identity graph or the aggregated identity. And from there, you store it in a trusted execution environment. So this is a black box that only you control with your private keys. Nobody else can see it. We cannot see it. You open it, you direct it, you make sure that you control it. From that trusted execution environment, we make use of all the different data indexers who index any of the blockchains that you're operating on. So Ethereum, Polkadot, and they provide us with the necessary data about certain truth statements of your addresses. But the collection of addresses is never being sent anywhere. Only certain queries that are desensitized and mixed with a whole bunch of other queries towards those data indexers actually call or ask for the information about your addresses. And then from that black box, we are issuing the truth statements in the form of credentials. So the credentials no longer show your original addresses. They just prove that the black box is an independent observer of your identity and can prove that a certain statement about your identity is true. So that gives a very, it's quite complex. I can imagine.
I'm curious, like whether users need to trust this black box that the links between these addresses will not be revealed at the end of the day.
That's indeed one of the assumptions that you have to accept. Like we use the Intel SGX chipset for our trust execution environments. So you start with the premise that you trust Intel as a company that's not creating any data leaks or that delivers genuine hardware. Yeah, that's the first
I'm pretty familiar with this SGX setup. So I guess like quite a bunch of companies from the Web3 using this thing to manage the off-chain secured computation and stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Heavily
cool. This is really interesting. So we'll actually get back to you just to discuss a little bit more of use cases with our stablecoin. So probably also will give perspective on that. And we actually, I would like to make transition to the guy who is hiding behind the profile picture. So Christian, nothing bad, as Teun said. It's all good. So it's.
I wish I did it.
So Christian, can you also give more perspective on what you're anticipating from our integration, and what would be the biggest use cases and the biggest synergies that you see between our projects?
But sorry, so you cannot see me. Wait, can you now?
Now we can. Yes.
Yes, amazing. I'm sorry, so sorry for the profile
no worries,
picture. I thought it was on. My bad. No, absolutely. Coming back to what I mentioned before, I think that I can fairly say that the goal of Bifrost for this 2023 is actually to push for as many partnerships as possible. Like last year in 2022, we opened up 16 HRMP channel between different parachains, and we keep working on that because like our main goal for 2023 is actually to facilitate experience for users and increment drastically the use cases of our users. Like because as I said, the way people get in touch with Bifrost is basically they stake their token with us and get this V token, which is the liquid staking token of their asset. But then one of the issue we experienced last year is that, of course, before this whole HRMP channel, the XCM narrative takes off, those tokens can be used only on Bifrost chain. So what we are like aiming is to provide as many as possible like use cases so people can actually enjoy them and use, increasing the interoperability of their V tokens. And as I mentioned, one thing we are working on right now with the Equilibrium team is actually the possibility to use one of our V token, which is the V dot, which is the liquid staking token of Dot, to use it as a collateral to like mint. I guess it's like the EQ stable coin, and it's something which is on which was on our roadmap for the Q1. It was slightly adjusted to the beginning of Q2. So I would say in about a month, this should be live. And it's just the first step, because of course the possibilities are basically endless. You can use like as many V tokens as possible, like and are allowed on Equilibrium to deploy this EQ stable coin and use it online.
Right. So I'm curious. You mentioned this lineup of V tokens. So I'm curious, like, which other assets? Just can you walk us through? Probably like the audience is not familiar with the whole lineup that you guys have currently at the table. Like, what else you have just besides V dot?
Yeah, sure thing. For the audience who's not aware of that, we actually started, as most of the parachain, on Kusama. So one of the first assets Bifrost provided was like BKSM. Is actually Bifrost is the protocol with the highest amount of KSM staked right now. We just reached 300,000 KSM staked on Bifrost, and then BKSM, of course, minted. Another thing we are working on right now is the upgrade of the ETH, which will be like, of course, deployed on like, of course, it's a substrate and EVM based asset. Basically, because like in 2 weeks there will be the Phala upgrade, which is the ETH 2.0 upgrade for Ethereum. We wanted to upgrade the contracts of our VETH. Since we are like amongst one of the, let's say, I think top 10 liquid staking protocols for Ethereum, and then of course we were like among these VDOT, VKSM, VETH, we obviously have VBNC, which is our native token. There is the possibility to stake the BNC on chain and get the derivative of it, and also like why I mentioned like EVM compatible parachains, because we were the first one to deploy Glimmer and Mover liquid staking tokens. So like supporting Moonbeam and Moonriver assets. And this is like the first step we took last November towards the EVM, let's say, machine, the Ethereum virtual machine. And I was reading this morning that maybe EQ stablecoin will be deployed as well on Ethereum. That was, of course, like opens up another opportunity in the future to consider like even EVM compatible asset like VETH or VGlimmer to use it as a collateral for the EQ stablecoin, for example.
Right. Cool. Thank you very much for this perspective. I think our community members were really interested to learn more about that. I'm curious, like, how you guys managed to transfer this. So, like, this VETH, is it like existing just on Ethereum? Or you also have it on Polkadot as well?
It's basically on Ethereum. It was like deployed. It was actually the very first asset Bifrost presented almost 2 years ago now. So when, like, for example, we weren't active on Polkadot and we just launched on Kusama. But of course, with the Ethereum and Polkadot bridging, that is something that is on the roadmap, and it should go. It should be like implemented very soon. It will be. it will be like a possibility, of course, to add it and use it on substrate-based parachain and use it on Polkadot as well. This is one of the things our team is working on right now, and it maybe will be part of the, let's say, V2 of VETH, the second version of VETH that will be deployed. I think in very soon. I cannot give you a date because I didn't sync with my dev team, but yeah, it's on the list, like to go live this quarter for sure.
Right.
This upcoming quarter, I mean.
Cool. That all makes sense, and definitely we are super excited about these integrations, and I'm sure that VDOT specifically will actually have the second life on the Equilibrium's parachain, because we definitely want to attract or integrate as many dot wrappers as possible, so that everyone can enjoy, let's say, EQD stablecoin minting using these assets. And obviously it's a mutually beneficial use case, because like for us it's more liquidity, for you guys it's more use cases for the liquid wrapper of certain assets. Definitely if you guys manage to bridge other liquid staking tokens from different other ecosystems, will be really, really interesting, I guess, to explore these opportunities as well. So maybe the last question to wrap this up to both of you. So as I said, we are very much focused on the EQD stablecoin developments and deployments within the ecosystem. Like, how you guys think important to have the native ecosystem stablecoin for Dotsama, and what would be like the practical use case of this stablecoin within your projects?
Yeah, it's a burning question, right? A native stablecoin is one of the things that would really help the Dotsama universe to just grow and to become more mature. And I think Equilibrium is definitely taking a good step in that direction. So in terms of stablecoin use on our platform, there is certain concepts that we are exploring, and we use this umbrella term, which is identity staking. We don't 100% exactly know how we will roll it out, but it will be an opportunity for users to stake their identity and make a stake in their reputation, become available to interact with certain projects, become available to provide expertise on the topics that they provable have an expertise on. So that type of identity staking could potentially also be done with tokens from our partners. So imagine we have some type of quest-like or an identity benefit running for Equilibrium or for Bifrost. Those communities could come with their own tokens and to stake them as in the process of providing expertise or engaging with that project. So there we see a lot of opportunity to start using tokens from our partners and to provide some utility. But this is pretty conceptual. These are ideas that we are playing with, and that definitely will, in some form, will be rolled out. But how exactly is to be determined.
Amazing. Minting identity, staking identity, brave new world,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Looking forward to that. Christian, what would you say?
No, I would say that like just today, I think I got involved in a discussion about the liquidity on the Polkadot ecosystem right now, and how to overcome the current issue with that. And of course, on that like perspective, Polkadot-based stablecoin or like Polkadot native stablecoin, like could be like EQG, is certainly like a big help for that. I can actually speak for my protocol. We actually provide also some farming pool, and actually this farming pool, there is like a pool which is BNC USDT. If I'm not wrong, yeah, it should be BNC or BBNC USDT. And of course, it's like a bridge USDT to the Kusama ecosystem. of course, also on that side, having a stable coin like EQG could open up for more interoperability, like another use case for users who maybe want to try to come up with some farming opportunities and use it in a let's say in a farming pool with another token, which can be like a DOT-based token or Kusama-based token. It's pretty interesting, and of course, as you mentioned, EVM-based parachains are an opportunity, but also like Bifrost is trying to push to create with other parachains more V tokens, so more liquid staking token. In this upcoming quarter, we have at least two, I can say, parachains V tokens that are coming, and of course this will adapt interoperability and operationally it would be easier and easier for users to stake, to farm their asset, and I think that in this big picture, the collaboration between Bifrost and Equilibrium could be very useful for user first, like the end users first.
Amazing. We are looking forward to all these use cases, and definitely, let's keep in touch. Thank you very much for joining the call. I think it was really interesting conversation for everyone.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's be in touch then. Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Ciao. Ciao. Bye-bye. Okay. So let me get back to our today's agenda. Just let a sec. Give me just a sec. Okay. As you know, the next thing I wanted to mention today is our recent EQ token listing on two major exchanges. Respectively, it's Gate.io and MEXC. So the token has been listed on March the 9th, and so far has seen quite decent trading volumes on both exchanges. Definitely, I unfortunately I cannot comment on price performance and all this kind of more trading specific stuff, but we're definitely excited about this, and I know that this was a really long awaited event. So right now we have the Ethereum version of EQ listed on both exchanges, and that was the measure to make it happen really fast. Because both exchanges were very really receptive to moving fast with the integration. However, from a technical perspective, the fastest was integration of Ethereum-based ERC20 token, because more or less standard. And now we're working on the native parachain integration, which is gonna be live pretty soon. So let me invite another guest of our today's call, who is Andrew Weiner. Hi, man. Pleasure having you with us. Thank you very much for joining today's community call.
Really appreciate you giving the opportunity to us to connect with your audience and talk a bit about this new listing and your incredibly innovative project. My name is Andrew Weiner. I'm the Vice President here of MEXC Global. And for those who are unfamiliar with me, I've been in the crypto business since 2016. I started on the RegTech side with KYC, AML, and the counter financing of terrorism at a firm called iComply, which is a Draper Venture Network back office solution, powers KPMG and other types of consulting agencies that do private placements of security tokens.
Amazing. Thank you very much for the intro. Pleasure having you today with us. And I have a couple of questions to you as the guy from the mainstream crypto. So we are more niche on the Dotsama side, and you are in the mainstream, and you definitely can give us more perspective of probably what's going on the market, given all the Binance and Coinbase thoughts, US bank sector, reportedly almost being collapsed, and what's your vision on DeFi, like how it will sustain the current circumstances, and whether it's like overcome the all the mess in centralized finance?
I love this topic because the less experienced people will ask us, is there a place for both CeFi and DeFi? And if you ask that question, you haven't been paying attention. It's incredibly important. Where we're at right now as an industry is there's significant fragmentation, because when we all started in crypto, we had this idea that we were all going to build and develop and innovate, but we didn't do that collectively in harmony as one team. Everybody has been building pieces of a puzzle. And in this environment where the maturity and the scale of the actual onboarding of crypto consumers that are educated is not comparable to where it was when we all started building. It is overwhelming today. There are so many people participating in this industry. And if you're in the DEX world, you have very fragmented user experiences that have not been harmonized in a meaningful way. You have dashboards, but that's still overwhelming, especially if I can only view my positions. I can't actually manage and take action on what's transpiring in real time in those dashboards. So what's very innovative about Equilibrium is it started off to bring together so many pieces of that puzzle to give a complete user experience. And this is incredibly important, because if you can complete the user experience in the innovation area of this industry, then you can bring qualified, mature products to the more retail consumer, the less educated consumer that's using a simpler user journey and experience on a CAX like MEXC Global. I mean, we have 10 million traders in 200 countries. I can't say that every single one of them is very familiar with how to use and trade on DEXs, or even familiar with the depth and spread of liquidity that's available in certain projects. So when I first heard about this innovation and realized that you were going to incentivize both sides and bring together cross-chain compatibility when everybody's limited, this is very interesting. And the success of this is actually crucial. This provides scalability and a real ramp to get sophisticated, really educated traders into more streamlined experiences. And I think this is beneficial. Everybody wins when there's liquidity, when there's risk credit models that protect us, when there's sensible collateral that I have to extend to actually participate, when I don't have to be accredited. Those are barriers. And the intention of our industry since its inception, how do we deliver these services to the regular person? We didn't design these products for billionaires to come and 10x $1 billion on them. We designed them for people to get involved that had been locked out of traditional finance. And I think projects like this do an incredible job of bridging that and bringing together, again, silos.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your really kind words and your kind of perspective of how you envision Equilibrium and what we are delivering. Maybe besides interoperability, I would also outline that we are putting together all the pieces of the puzzle, like of all the DeFi in one place. So it's not necessarily just trading, but also staking, lending, whatever, minting stablecoins. So that's something that you can find within our application. Yeah, and thank you, Andrew, for bringing up this important thing of eliminating fragmentation across different products and networks and liquidity within the space. So how's I'm assuming that actually MEXC is also doing something. I would not say like very similar, but I'm assuming that you're also like trying to connect all the dots within at least centralized kind of crypto worlds, more centralized crypto world, I would say, right? So probably you can give our audience more perspective of what's the latest with MEXC, like what's the most interesting developments and products that you're offering these days, and how they solve the daily kind of pain points of regular retail users, and maybe not retail.
Well, we've tried to take the position of how do we provide the most access with the least friction, and this is very DeFi friendly. So we're looking at providing the lowest fees, the most selection of inventory, and the easiest user journey from end to end, whether that's signing up to create an account, making a deposit, or just taking a position, we tried to create an entire package that went from education. You can watch videos and tutorials that take you all the way through to being a copy trader on the product. Or if you are, somebody with a social media presence, you want to share the positive experience that you're having on our product with the rest of the world to let people know about where they can do all these things very efficiently and effectively and find great projects like EQ. MEXC Global is the place to do it. Our competitors have not done this. They have taken a very hard-edged approach and are shooting a bit high. Just looking at these accredited and institutional type investors, they've really forgotten about the core of the crypto community, which is the regular person. A lot of regular traders don't trade more than $1,000 a month, as an example. So when you are working with teams and scoping the market at a decentralized exchange, you're really looking at who's bringing together that lessening of the pain, reducing those pain points of friction. I mean, look, if you're somebody that knows how to spin up a MetaMask, get on an X, and actually transact and take great positions, then what we provide is actually very seamless and simple. So we want to see more of those users on our product, and we want to see more of those users from your ecosystem sharing that knowledge and education to make better consumers and to continue to facilitate the long-term perspectives and goals that we all have on our roadmaps. And that is, we don't want to be here in 20 years. We don't want to be a trend industry. And when we've seen from market adoption, I mean, we're there. There's some serious institutional players that on January 1st, 2025, actually become competitors of a lot of the stuff that we're doing today. And that's very interesting because they can't charge low fees. They can't do very efficient, effective, flexible risk models. They have no, DAOs and governance and traditional finance that the likes of we have. The consumers have no say. So I think crypto is positioning itself to truly replace what it was trying to disrupt. And they've been forced to the degree that they're looking at builds of ours. And they're looking to take technology from this space that's developed at Kex like MEXC and a project like EQ and offer that in very traditional finance type instruments to the retail consumers that are not currently in this industry. So I guess, everything we've worked on in the last 90 days and all the projects that we've had come on in MEXC in the last 90 days have all been focused like a laser on how do we prepare the market and these products and services to withstand the stress and the risk of having millions and millions and millions of consumers participating every second. Yeah. Currently, it's every day.
Amazing. No, this is really awesome that you guys firstly got the traction and so much taking care of user experience, I guess. Okay, so maybe my last question before we go, what's your perspective on the Dotsama ecosystem and what you would like to say and maybe wish to the Dotsama users and Equilibrium users as well?
To all the users that are in right now, you're very fortunate to be attached to something that solves a real problem. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's no real problem solution fit that 10 other teams are not working on. This is true innovation. There's not really an actual risk framework in this space that resembles what they've put together at EQ. I can't think of anything that's doing this with no mining. I also can't think of anything that's using a Black-Scholes model for interest rate pricing. It's so mature. And that's what I'm trying to get across to your users. And that's why a Kex like MEXC that's been in the space since 2018 is very sophisticated consumers. We want to expose the audience to opportunities like this because we know that in the long term, these are the things that we all as a community should dig our heels in and support because the outcome is nothing but benefits. There's benefits for users, there's profit sharing, there's farming rewards, there's through these partnerships and cooperations, there's so much in terms of contests and engagement we can do together. And then on the market maker side, you get free transactions, you have zero fees, profits from your activity, and volume rewards on active trading. This is passive income. So this is why you're in the space, right? I'm talking to the audience now. You want something that's going to make your life a little more turnkey, make it easier to manage what is currently an overwhelming ecosystem of positions and products and logins and passwords and signatures, etc. And the closer we can all get to harmony, cross-chain, and doing things efficiently at low cost is only going to be good.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I can't say it better than you. So like, it was really, really awesome to hear your perspective on all this complex stuff. And yeah, thanks very much for coming. Definitely looking forward to having you back at one of our upcoming community calls in the future. So thanks very much, Andrew.
We appreciate you so much for giving us this audience. And again, I love innovation. So thank you for putting together something thoughtful.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, so that was Andrew from MEXC. It was a real pleasure to have him here today. Let me get back to our slides, and I'll do that real quickly because we are running out of time. So the next thing I wanted to share with you that we have teamed up with GSR, one of the major crypto market makers and ecosystem partners in the space. Like they're helping us with our current open markets for the EQ token, and we are really proud of having them on our boards as collaborators, I would say. So the next topic I wanted to cover is our universal app for Ledger, which allows for batched integration of parachain projects into the Ledger Live application. So it actually would not require redeploying of application every time when the new parachain project is getting connected. And the proposed solution is doing so. Just, as you probably know, that the cold data decoding is actually a pain point for these integrations because it requires like custom developments and stuff. So instead of that, we are offering to the usage of blind signing modes, and through that, we are making it like really, really universal. So the concept of this universal kind of app is currently available in our repository. So we're building that from the name of EQ Lab. It's the developer house behind the Equilibrium protocol. So if you go to eqlab.io, you can find there the article about this concept for Ledger integration. And yeah, feel free to give us feedback. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. And right now we are collecting interest from the parachain projects regarding this integration. There are a few of them who already provided us with pull requests in our repository with their own integrations that will eventually be submitted to Ledger. So stay tuned. We'll also keep you guys posted regarding this development as well. So Mary, this is your turn. You need to cover the Crew 3 integration real fast. Hello.
Hey friends. So, hi, my name is Maria. I'm head of the community here at Equilibrium, and I'm going to walk you through our Crew 3 community page, which is already up and running, and with more than 400 members and 85, I think, different quests. Our Crew 3 allows anyone to learn about Equilibrium and help spread the word, and use the platform to earn some perks. If you still haven't heard about Crew 3, it is an exciting Web3 platform designed to empower communities towards shared goals. So who can use our quest board over at Crew 3? We're building it for DeFi enthusiasts who wish to discover new projects. Also, of course, for the community and for our ambassadors. And I can see some of you guys here in chat, so please make some noise by sending, I don't know, fire emojis or commenting me or something. one of the most recent additions to our quest is 3 new quizzes of different levels of difficulty. And you've got a rather easy quest, a harder one, and a much harder one dedicated solely to our liquidity mining program with max APR of more than 90%. And if you've missed our social media campaign back in Feb, during which you could get 1.5 multiplier on the yield you're receiving according to the blast terms, this is your chance to activate the blast bonus. However, we do recommend you guys try the other 2 quizzes as well. They're fun, they will help you understand our product better, and they will also act as a warm-up before the final act. And I dropped a link to our Crew 3 quest board right below the video, so you can scan the QR code or just press the big green button to see what's going on there. So what else can you do there? Learn more about Equilibrium and what it has to offer. And by the way, in just a few days, well, the week is ending, so I guess it's going to be next week. We're adding more tasks that will help you engage with our app and explore its features while enjoying your blast bonus. And you could also get closer to the community fellow Equilibrians, as we have some easy community building quests there as well. And last but not least, and maybe the most interesting thing for you guys, is that by completing the quest and by becoming eligible, you're becoming eligible for some exclusive rewards. And please note that a lot of tasks are available only to the Equilibrium ambassadors who get their XP converted into EQ tokens on a monthly basis. And if you think that it would be interesting for you or your friends to join our ambassador program, please do so by clicking the link somewhere in chat. Guys, please help me with that. Just drop a link to our application form. Thank you for that. And also, I have prepared a little surprise for you guys. We've tested this a couple times in our Latin American community, and the guys loved it. So here it is tonight. So we're dropping some cute POAPs for you. And if you do not know what POAP stands for, it is proof of protocol, or as one of my friends calls it, proof of attention protocol. And you can view this as a badge of honor or recognition for having been present or having participated in an online or in real life event. And if it is your first POAP, congratulations on starting your collection of digital mementos. And if it's not your first, I salute you, my friend. And feel free to share your collection if you have collected, some of those. So how do you mint one tonight? You will need to download a free app called POAP. It's POAP, 4 letters, to your mobile, and listen carefully to me or read the chat. So right below here, you have a link to download the app on Google Play, and here is your link for the App Store. So I will drop a secret word which you can use to mint your POAP, and there will be only a 15-minute mint window, so you will have to be attentive and B, fast. Good luck, everyone, and may the mints be ever in your favor. That's all on my end.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. It was really helpful. I think if I had more spare time, I would definitely participate myself. Okay, so 2 more topics for today, and that's it. So first of all, multi-chain bridge upgrades. So as you know, we currently improving the integration with Multichain, and actually Multichain is working extensively on launching this as soon as possible. So first of all, the new solution will split responsibilities between us and Moonbeam and other counterparties. So respectively, our pools for Equilibrium's bridging will be isolated from other assets. Right now, this is in the testing mode on Moonbase, which is the Moonbeam's testnet. And Multichain is also, like, they gave us a heads up that they're developing a native solution for Polka Dot, which is going to be deployed on the network at some time this year. So looking forward to that. But now, like the next steps for us is wait until the new kind of split solution will go live. So hopefully in the coming, I would say a few weeks, we will definitely be enjoying the native bridging solution going live again. So in terms of the development updates, like real quick, we are reworking the multi-chain bridge solution in collaboration with Multichain right at this point. We have completed multiple UI improvements. You can enjoy farming statistics, which I believe has gone live just yet. Home and wallet unification is home page and the wallet page of the application is undergoing the unification stage, and I believe it's almost live on the application. You also have the new token pages, more convenient for token and portfolio management. And the more effective ensure liquidity management is on its way. The blockchain code refactoring, improvements, optimization, preparing for open source is something that we are working on right now. And yes, again, emphasizing here open source. So we're gonna be open source real soon. In favor of our community and those who were really much, waiting for that. Mobile interfaces for Equilibrium app is something that we have developed recently, and it's gonna be actually deployed within the application at some point soon. So right now we're working on the actual implementation of that on the front-end side. New EQD stablecoin landing page being deployed, so you can find it on our website, equilibrium.io. Lots of XCM related work and refactoring actually has been completed. So respectively, we have integrated with Litentry, Bifrost. There are a few other integrations on their ways. We have integrated with Phala, for example. Interlay was another important integrations in our roadmap, and there will be more to come. So we have been working on deeper wallet integration with sub-wallets and fearless wallets. So this is something that's going to be live soon. And another important development for us was Moonbeam UI integration. It's not completed yet, but hopefully it's going to be live soon. So yeah, I think that pretty much is according to our agenda. Before we wrap up, let me look at our Q&A section here, and maybe I pick a few questions from you guys. When native EQ on exchanges, why ERC20? I've already touched on that. So that was done intentionally for speeding up the integration process. So the token is currently live, but you can easily bridge your EQ tokens from Equilibrium to Ethereum using the multi-chain bridge and deploy it to exchange if you want to trade EQ tokens for the USDT stablecoin, or you can do vice versa. You can transfer EQ tokens from Ethereum to Equilibrium, which is like fairly easy to do. Then when updates for Jinchira, we will be providing these updates very, very, very soon. Stay tuned. There is something being cooked under the hood. When USDC bridge will be fixed, could you share more info why it was disabled? So the problem was with the XRC token implementation on the Moonbeam network, which resulted in some potential vulnerability for the bridge, and the multi-chain guys decided to suspend operations in order to maintain the safety of the solution. And the the current process looks as follows. So we are working on the improved solution where we will be separating the liquidity pools of which are kind of used for bridging equilibrium-based assets from the pools of assets being bridged to Moonbeam, and through that guarantee safety of this solution for our users first of all, because like you will not be intersecting with other assets being bridged to like other Moonbeam-based applications, like let's say Stellar Swap or whatsoever, and yeah. So and at some point we are planning for deep integrations with Multichain. Is something we are working on, well, like Multichain working on right now. As I said, they are planning for deployments of Polkadot native solution at some point soon this year. Recurring question in my community: if the channels in Polkadot are ready, why isn't the Q transfer enabled in Polkadot? Specifically, they ask me a lot about the Asta connection. So this is something we're working on right now, and yeah, definitely we will be opening all the transfers at some point very soon. Good evening. So just getting back to the previous question. So again, as I said, like the current kind of limitations, they were intentionally applied because first of all, we wanted to make sure that all the technology works okay. And actually, given that we just have the bridge to Ethereum through Multichain, which is currently limited to like certain amount of tokens which can be transferred between Equilibrium and Ethereum, we didn't want to give any kind of specific exemptions for transfers to other networks, which would make no sense and be harmful for the markets, I guess. Good evening. When will see BUSD on the platform so that we can use stablecoins without paying for extensive transaction when depositing with DAO? Good question. So we decided not to open up our own bridges with Equilibrium, between Equilibrium and other chains, as we did in Jinchira, because that was quite, controversial experience, I would say, because we actually experienced a lot of issues with the bridge and had to maintain it. And, actually the bridging is not our business. And right now we are more relying on third-party solutions. So currently working with Multichain, as you know, and actually we are thinking of deploying other stablecoins, but we started with USDC, Ethereum-based USDC, so you can already bridge USDC from Ethereum. And another stablecoin that we're currently supporting natively is USDT, which can be found on the statement right now, so you can it's fairly easy to bridge it from. You can fairly easy bridge it from exchanges, like let's say from Gate.io, from other exchanges which are supporting the native Polkadot integration. So I think that might be a better option. And obviously, like EQD. So if we will be deploying more use cases for EQD, more liquidity pools will be opening really soon, like all across the Dotsama ecosystem. So maybe you will not need to use any other stablecoins at some point. Next question. So when you will turn off the whitelist thing? So I already commented on that. Since you keep 40% of your stables as security measures, and there is no liquidity and solution in the near future, could you just go do something with Jinchira so we can get out of it? Great question. So again, as I said, we are working on something around Jinchira, and we will let you know real soon what's going on there, and I'm sure you will be very much satisfied with our recent developments. So thank you very much for this community call. It was the 28th community call for the Equilibrium supporters and community members. We really appreciate you guys following us so closely and coming to see these community calls. So hopefully see everyone from today, like in a month from now. And definitely keep an eye on our announcements. Just to remind you, first of all, the QBlast campaign is currently live. If you're considering deploying liquidity on Equilibrium, it's the right time to do so. Like there are few opportunities: dot staking, EQD stablecoin minting, stable swap, kind of staking. There's a lot of things to do. You can find all the details on that in our socials. We have posted details on that multiple times before. And another important thing to keep in mind that we are hosting the Polka DeFiance event, which will happen at the end of April. We'll also be posting more details on that very soon. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us today again, and yeah, hopefully see you soon. Enjoy the rest of